mess we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new preview episode for Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Tiara.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This is preview episode for episode 214. We'll start the year out with something people have been requesting for years. Juice. This is obviously the 1992 film. Let me give the synopsis. Four Harlem friends, Bishop, Q, Steele, and Raheem, dabble in petty crime, but they decide to go big by knocking off a convenience store. Bishop, the magnetic leader of the group, has a gun, but Q has different aspirations. He wants to be a DJ and happens to have a gig the night of the robbery. Unfortunately for him, Bishop isn't willing to take no for an answer in a game where everything's for keeps. Obviously, this is an incredibly popular movie starring a very young Tupac Shakur.
It's a classic, isn't it?
It is considered a classic. I have not seen this movie since probably 1992. Mike is not on this preview episode, but he would tell you the same. I talked to him about it. And you have never seen this movie because you weren't even born then.
I was born in 1991. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
But how much did this movie define your adolescence?
It did not at all. Not for me.
Did it influence it in any way? Since you were what, 12? 11?
Yeah. One, I don't like that you're saying that with such derision in your voice. Just relax. No, it didn't. No, this is not a movie that affected my youth like that. But no, I don't know what movie really affected my youth in that way. Like, I found Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society to be like nightmare movies for me. I was like terrified of like fucking up in school, like that my mom, who doesn't have a cousin in LA, was going to send me to live with them in like Compton, and I would have to live that life. And I was like, I don't want to do that because I'm a coward. That is the only like influence that those two movies had on me. Which we'll do Menace to Society at some point, probably this year, actually. So look forward to Juice. Many people obviously have seen it. You can rent it on like Amazon and things like that. So we'll be back next week to discuss that in depth. That should be a pretty fun episode. Preview topic this week. So the good folks over at Mother Jones wrote an article that the title pretty much says it all. A key reason January 6th rioters aren't facing sedition charges, they're white. So on the 1-year anniversary of the January 6th white people wiling event, we thought we'd talk about this. And look, it's more, if anything, it's more about a pattern, which is this article deals with. And I'll put the link to the Mother Jones article in the show notes as well. But it's about a pattern of not making white people pay for sort of treasonous, really horrendous behavior across American history, and making people of color pay extreme prices for even daring to question not just those situations, but daring to question the American system in and of itself. Right. What are your thoughts?
So I didn't know that no one had been charged with sedition over last year,
which is ridiculous. Not as of yet, but it's been a year. So
it's been a year. I don't know what I'm expecting out of Merrick Garland and the DOJ when it comes to prosecuting people, but it is. My main concern over the last year has always been, if you don't make an example out of people, even people who may not belong to a white supremacist group but still decided to go along with it anyway, then what message are you sending to people?
Right.
When it comes to the next general election in 2 years, Jesus Christ. I don't like to be one of those people that's like, well, are you surprised? They're of course they're white. Like, but it's still infuriating when you see the pattern that's illustrated in the article against white people, including white people who try to advocate for Black people and was still hit with sedition charges.
Right.
They brought up one guy who was hemmed up by like Francis Scott Key, and he spent 8 months in jail, but ended up catching like TB and ended up dying. But like even like some of the things in this article with Trump and how he just said things like, we won't have a country, like they came here legally, like all these like really racist like whistleblowing here in this article.
Dog
and it's
whistling.
just, I don't know. Like it's just it feels like just rereading history over and over and over again and seeing this happening play out in real time. And I've always like been like I never thought like Trump would actually go down for this. I don't think anyone important will go down for this. They'll probably die before they ever see any type of justice. But it's still infuriating at the same time because you already know that they're going to try again.
Right.
And you already know that if Black people had rolled up into the Capitol a year ago, and if you have never been to DC, if you try to tour the Capitol, at least before the insurrection, they don't fuck around when you try to like tour it as just a visitor. So the fact that you had all these people with Trump banners and "Don't Tread on Me" and all this other white supremacist nonsense, and then people died, like people, and they killed cops, Capitol police officers died, and no one has been charged with sedition. Like, well, then what can they do wrong at this point?
Yeah, look, it's interesting, right? Because I think that I mentioned this on our first episode back of this year for Look Forward, our political show. Like I mentioned this idea that the human mind craves complexity, right? And like there's a reason that the term, or there's a reason that Occam's razor exists, right? Which is like the simplest explanation is probably true, right? But we tend to try to overcomplicate things instead of just looking directly in the face of going, oh, okay, this is obviously what's going on, right? Obviously, these people were like, hey, I'm buying into this horse shit about Trump having the election stolen, which is like not real. It's nonsense. Spoiler alert, he lost because people hated his guts so much in this country that people were like, all right, put all the nonsense aside, we got to defeat this guy, right? Like that's legitimately what it came down to. And also 500,000 Americans dying under his watch because he had such a massive dereliction of duty dealing with COVID. To me, that's not surprising. Like people just had enough. Americans had enough. Like that's kind of how we operate. But the thing that is also that lacks complete complexity, and it is very obvious, is that these guys did this because they were losing power and they just felt like they shouldn't lose power. Like I should just be president. We should just be in charge because we should be in charge. And we are trying so desperately, and I don't mean like the American public. I think the vast majority of the American public is like can see it for what it is. But like the Department of Justice and Merrick Garland are trying to seemingly like, what is the reason this is happening? What could it be? Like he literally wrote in a statement or said in a statement the other day, well, this has nothing to do with political ideology. It literally has everything to do with a political ideology.
Everything.
But it's this idea that they're trying to find, what could it be that's driving these people to do this? Dude, they were wearing Trump flags like capes. Like, what else do you need?
I mean, it's
insane.
It's amazing, like how even like people who are quote unquote supposed to be on our side, and by our side I mean like the side of like democracy and anti racism, still give white people the benefit of the doubt, racist white people the benefit of the doubt. Always. And like, I mean, I realized I didn't finish my thought earlier, but like, if black people had done this, they would have all been gunned down. Look, I tell you right now, if it was liberal white people, they'd have shot. Right.
Like, don't get it twisted. Like this article says, because they were white, but it's because they were conservative and white. right?
Right.
Because if this was a bunch of like tree hugging hippies and they were like, we're going to take over the Capitol, dude. We're going to liberate it for Bernie Sanders. They would have been like, oh, word? Everybody getting shot.
Funny?
Everybody getting shot.
The white liberal people probably would have gotten hit with the sedition charges, and the black people would have just gotten killed.
Yeah, no, that's true. Look, the reality is, sedition charges are one thing, and it's a this article is like, look, this is the definition of sedition. Like, this is super plain and obvious, right? And I agree with that. However, I know that the burden of proof to do sedition, right, it's a heavy fucking charge, right? Because you're basically saying, like, hey, these guys are performing treason, like you're one step below treason, right? Right. And the reason why they go with sedition instead of treason is because, like, treason is death. Like, that's it. Like, we're not having a conversation. Like, you're not putting people in jail for that shit. You're throwing a rope over a tree branch, right? Like, we're done here. So I understand why they would go with sedition. Personally, I'm more of a let's go with treason kind of guy. But
aren't you against the death?
Not in this case. I'm not.
Okay.
Look, all things in moderation, even moderation. Some people got to die. They just do. But I understand why the government would say sedition, right? Because I think we are not ready, and I'll drag this back in history a little bit, but we are not ready for the idea of marking, let's say not even 695, right? Because I don't think 695 of these people deserved all the same sentence, right? They don't. Right. It was like somebody grandma in there. She was like, what am I doing? Like, you don't gotta throw that woman in prison for 100 years. I'm fine with it, but you don't have to do that. That seems silly, right? But like, some of these people walking around with the like zip tie handcuffs and stuff, you should do serious time, if not like goodbye.
You need to lock the key. Yeah.
Right. Like I'm fine with it. So I understand why they're doing this sedition charge, but like to me, the biggest, like the more egregious thing as far as charges go is that these people didn't get charged with felony murder.
Right. Like
felony murder means you were a part of a criminal act and someone got killed. If I am the getaway driver, because a lot of people don't, and I'm explaining this because a lot of people don't know what felony murder is. If you are the getaway driver in a bank robbery and the people in the bank shoot and kill somebody, you get charged with murder because you are a part of that criminal, you had criminal intent and you were a part of that crime. That is what felony murder is. So anybody who broke glass and broke into that building and then, people got killed, that cop got killed, everyone involved in that's felony murder. None of them have been charged with that. To me, that's even more egregious because that's not even like a political conversation about sedition or treason. That's just the law. Like, that's just the law. So when people say that this country is like biased towards liberals, I would say, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Right? Because it's just simply not true. No one believes that if a bunch of liberals came breaking into a government building to take it over, they wouldn't have gotten gunned down or gotten the book thrown at them.
To take over not just a government building, but to disrupt the results of a general election, a presidential election. It's a big fucking deal. I was going to ask you, so did the Capitol Police push for those types of charges?
I don't know. I honestly
because
don't know.
Because with cops, like when you kill one of their own, unless they're black, they
you said one of their own, like nigga, you was on the team temporarily, like.
and speaking of some of the black Capitol Police, I totally forgot about Officer Dunn.
That dude saved America, dude. Like, he saved America for real. For real.
And he was like, he was like, so does my vote not count? Like, I voted for Biden, and some Trump lady was like, hey guys, this nigger voted for Biden. So what is Merrick Garland talking about when he's like, this isn't about Trump ideology? Political ideology. Trump literally gave a speech like an hour before. They were literally, and he was like, march down to the Capitol.
Yeah, go down there. I'll be right behind y'all.
But hey guys, if we only knew why they were there, if we could only guess why Trump decided to bring up Fulton County, the place of where Stacey Abrams lives, and if you're going to figure out why he kept on referring to the black counties in Georgia as illegal. If we can only figure that out, guys. Guess
But
we'll never know.
again, the mind craves complexity, and these people are looking for a complex answer to a very simple thing, right? These people,
They're white.
They are white. They are conservative and white, and
Yep.
we give such a wide berth to their bullshit. We do. We do. Like, and it's to me, it's absolutely insane. And to draw back to another point that I made, look, about sedition and about treason and things like that, and how we will not act and how we have not acted, right? Because there is I can think of at least 2 people involved in this shit that absolutely, and I'm not talking about the political side. I'm not even talking about Trump or anything. I'm talking about people in that building. At least 2 people who should absolutely fucking swing for treason. There is that, like, former military dude. He had his face uncovered. He's wearing a fucking military helmet. He's like an Air Force captain or some shit that was there with zip cuffs, right? These guys were planning on grabbing politicians and killing them. That's what their plan was.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. You know, we were going to hold them hostage and then talk about it. Get the fuck out of there. They were going to hold them hostage and they were building gallows outside. They were going to kill them, right? Yeah. That guy and the other guy who was in like the black rifle coffee fucking hat, all black with his face covered, and he came there with his mom. They figured out who the fuck he was. Both of those guys were walking around with zip tie cuffs. Those guys were there for serious shit. There's not the QAnon shaman idiot and all these other people that were like, oh, we can laugh at them. No, those guys there were there to do real damage and to kill people, kill politicians.
Yes, they were.
Those 2 people should fucking swing for what they did. Especially being former military. The military should take the fucking gloves off on that guy. Fuck him. So, like, to me, but that drags back to a point in history that I don't think a lot of people have made the connection to, and so allow me to do so. After the Civil War, we did not do what we should have done, which is we should have grabbed every one of those Civil War generals, right? You can, like, Civil War, like, Southern Civil War fighters or whatever, they're just like, these people were, you know, they're pieces of shit. Like, I'm not covering for them. I'm just saying you can't just kill all those people. You know, that's like half the country. Like, you can't. You simply can't.
We didn't punish the Confederacy.
We didn't. Yo, they just let those people back into Congress. People don't realize that. Some of those people went back and, hey, what's up, Tim? Come on back in. Like, what the fuck? Like, they let them back in. Those generals should have swung for that shit.
Yep.
They should have. Dude, every one of those, like, hey, General Lee and all, cool, that's great. You see this tree branch? What's up? This is your future. Like, no. In every town square, in every major Southern town, the North should have gone in and been like, all of you motherfuckers who were in charge, get over here. We got something to talk about. And they should have killed them. Because it should have been known to them, don't you ever think about doing this again. This is our fucking country. You want to leave? Get the fuck out. You want to stay? You act accordingly. That's it. And we didn't. Why? Because they were white. Even though we were fighting against the idea of enslaving black people and you know, and all of that shit was going on. Even during that, we were just like, still our friend. That's insane to me.
You know, we you know,
and that's why we're here now, because we never fucking fixed that. Right? You can look at the dividing lines of this country. They are still divided based on the Confederacy versus the North. They are still divided on those lines. It's the reason why we're here. It's
like Joe Manchin and them going like, well, you know, I know he says and does some racist things. He votes for Trump or votes along Trump 99% of the time, but he's a really good guy. I mean, I was just at his house, like with his family. I mean, like, that's my friend. It's just like, what are you talking about? This person does not respect my humanity because of the color of my skin.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
So another thing, and I saw this today on Twitter, and it came from Politico. So Vice President elect Kamala Harris was inside the Democratic National Committee headquarters on January 6th when a pipe bomb was discovered outside the building, according to 4 people familiar with her movements that day. I haven't heard a ton about the pipe bomb since last year, because
there was
I don't
one
think
outside the
RNC.
There was one outside the RNC.
Yeah, and outside the RNC too. Yep. But it's just So it says Capitol Police began investigating the pipe bomb at 1:07, according to the Capitol Police timeline of events. And then the Secret Service evacuated an unnamed protectee at 1:14. 7 minutes later, the 4 people among them were a White House official, a former law enforcement official, and then VP elect Kamala Harris. Yo, can you imagine if that bomb had gone off? That is how close we were. And that's I don't want to hear about these technical charges that were listed in the article. I do think people need to be hit with that, I guess, near treason sedition charge.
Yeah, they do.
Because because we're only a little over 2 years out from the next election, and time is going to go by really fast. But we also have congressional elections coming up this year. It's just And I'm really afraid, but if the DOJ doesn't start making true examples out of people, then what's to say
they'll do it again?
They're incentivized to just do it again, and they'll succeed.
Yeah, to me, it's remarkable that we don't have the QAnon shaman is the only guy we know who's gotten any real time, and it's 3 years or some shit.
What about the guy in Pelosi's office? The guy who had his
I think he's pretty close to being sentenced. I hadn't heard there was talk that he was going to get a decent amount of time too, but I hadn't heard. But even those guys are the jokesters, right? These are not the serious guys. I want to know what's going to happen to those 2 guys walking around with the fucking zip tie cuffs. Those are the guys, those guys had coordinated information. Those guys knew exactly what they were doing. They seemed to have information ahead of time. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert were talking about, supposedly giving tours to people the night before. Where the fuck is that information?
Yeah, AOC. Remember, AOC gave that IG Live thing when she talked about how someone came to escort her and she got a bad feeling that they weren't taking her to safety.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised.
So, yeah. And she said she was truly afraid for her life. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were going to kill her, too.
Absolutely they were.
Yeah.
And it's to me, any of these people who were involved in any aspect of this, in Congress, all of them need to be booted. Every last one of them. And the thing is, I get it. Look, there's reality and there's political reality, right? And I read up on this shit, I study it, and I understand a lot of people don't see the difference between those two things. And there is political pressure to do certain things or not to do certain things.
Right.
And that bumps up against reality because you're yo, just do the thing. This is obvious, right? Just do the thing. But there's a lot of if I do this, then these dominoes will kind of fall type of shit.
Yeah.
Look,
and also there are probably some of them in Congress who may want to sort of kind of do the right thing, but their constituents want to string them up too.
Right. And so I don't doubt that there's plenty of Republicans who I know people are just all the Republicans are for this. Look, there are definitely low bench, backbench people who are just yo, I'm just doing this because I'm not trying to get my family fucking attacked. Right. I'm 100% sure of that. Of course. Right. That's, you can tell when they're all I'm retiring this year, to spend more time with my family. I'm dude, you're 35. What are you talking about? You're fine. Why? And he's I gotta get the fuck out of here, right? So I understand that fear, right? You want to protect your family. I get it. If I'm the DOJ, you gotta stop this, well, we got this information, we ain't gonna say no shit. Nah, yo, clear the fucking bench. Throw that information out. You. Here is video evidence of all the shit you did. Throw them out.
Yeah.
Throw them out. Because when you do, and you make it so that, the thing is, the Republican Party leadership is going to try to protect as long as it's, nebulous. The second they can't justify the shit, they'll toss it. Yep. If there's video of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert giving night fucking here, go here tomorrow type shit video, you can guarantee Kevin McCarthy is going to be not my fucking problem. Because you can't defend it at that point. You can't. Right. Because what are you defending? What are you defending? A couple of fucking idiots? Because there's no way that everyone doesn't come down like a hammer on them.
Do
right?
you really think Kevin McCarthy, even if Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert were caught on camera saying, "Hey guys, tomorrow on January 6th, we are going to take over the Capitol."
It has to be definitive. It has to be definitive. But right now, he doesn't have anything, right? They don't have anything in the public. Look, he tried to wrangle Marjorie Taylor Greene, was like, "Look, you better listen to me," and she laughed in his face and walked out of the fucking meeting. He doesn't want her around.
Oh,
either.
She did?
Yes. Yeah. She just walked out of the meeting and was like, "Fuck that dude." Like, he don't like her ass. He don't. Those people are a pain in his ass. Every time they get booted off of fucking Twitter, every time they get their committee stripped and everything else, that's a pain in his ass. That's another person who's not able to do the things that he wants them to do. He would love to replace them with a bunch of non-lunatics, but he doesn't have a justification. If he had a justification, look, Matt Gaetz, right? Matt Gaetz is up for like a bunch of like crazy sexual shit with young kids.
He's allegedly a trafficker,
right,
or whatever.
And Kevin McCarthy's like, no, we'll see. Let that news come out. Boom, definitive facts. Kevin McCarthy ain't defending that shit at all. Good day. That's on you. They can't wait. But right now, shit is nebulous. Like, so they can just be like, he's probably a good guy. But no, like, that's why it is up to the DOJ.
Yeah,
you got to put that shit on blast.
Yeah.
No half talk, on blast. I need video of that shit. You do. You have to.
Yeah. I was going to say that's on the DOJ's fault for not communicating that to the public. And not only that, but before seeing media outlets to report exactly what they're finding accurately. And obviously, except like Fox News. But like the CNNs and MSNBCs.
They're infotainment is what they are.
Sure. But not giving, it's the DOJ's fault for not communicating those facts clearly, so that way the media can actually report it as accurately as possible to the public.
And it's also the media's fault for fucking both siding everything, right? Like they don't want to just be like, "Yo, these people are real pieces of shit." Like they just don't want to.
Like
they don't want to. They're scared.
Like the whole don't they kind of have a point about the election process, guys? Like, no, they don't.
No, they don't.
No.
No. They also get caught cheating all the time. Like, that's kind of their thing.
Right. The only thing is that their cheating just did not work. They tried to cheat this time.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Over and over and over again.
Yep.
It didn't work. So no, they don't have a point.
No, and they'll continue to try next time.
Like, especially, I can't help but like emphasize this. They were going to murder elected officials.
Nigga, they tried to murder Mike Pence. He's on their team. Like, what the fuck? He's the second guy.
Like that. And I feel like people keep on yada-yadaing that part. I'm like, they tried to murder elected officials to overturn a presidential election. That is, if we can't talk about the gravity of that, then we're never going to be able to solve any major issue in this country, because that's as big as it gets.
It is as big as it gets. Yep, you're 100% right.
And the only reason why people are yada-yadaing it is because these are white people who did it. Yep. Something else in our article 100%. That they brought up, and I did not realize this, but Jeffrey Rosen tried to have those George Floyd protesters charged with sedition.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they mentioned an article. I was like, what? Because they I think they destroyed a federal building.
By the way, incidentally, not actually the George Floyd protesters. That was actually the Boogaloo Boys. But, whatever, because that also got found out. And that's not me making that up. That guy got literally arrested for that shit. But, hey, guess what? Guess what ideology the Boogaloo Boys are? Conservative. They pretend to give a fuck about Black Lives Matter so that they can try to start a fucking race war. That's kind of their thing.
But Jay, why was Jeffrey Rosen so gung ho to
throw down sedition charges? You know why? You know why.
I don't know. You're gonna have to spell it out for me.
Well, I'll see you guys next time on the episode on Juice. You guys think about it yourself. Yeah, of
and
course.
just so people like, just so I can read out the full sentence, says in the aftermath of protests over George Floyd's murder, Trump Deputy Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen suggested charging protesters with sedition, highlighting a hypothetical example of a group that quote unquote has conspired to take a federal courthouse or other federal property by force.
Mm-hmm. All right, whatever, nigga. Like, you full of shit.
And also these same people hate Colin Kaepernick for protesting against racism, and they also hated that Capitol Police officer for trying to reason with them, and they just called him a nigger, even though he was in uniform. And also they killed cops.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Patriotism.
Right? What can we possibly do to these people? I don't know.
But that felony murder, that's wild. That no one's been
don't even
look.
Don't even think about it, because it'll make you fucking furious. It'll make you furious. Like, that shit doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I would like to ask Merrick Garland, why hasn't anyone been charged with this? He'd be like, damn, I didn't think
no journalist has asked him that yet.
I haven't seen anything. Maybe I should email Jim Acosta, be like, yo, can you ask this dude? Somebody
you should email Jim Acosta a million times, as well as like Rachel Maddow a million times.
Why are we not asking this? Come on, Rachel.
Like,
come on.
Get Michael Beschloss to, like, I don't know, do some history shit and talk about.
Michael Beschloss. I love that guy. He's like, I'm tired of talking about Reagan or Nixon. Just leave me alone.
Wait, what podcast is this? Is this Black and Black Cinema or Look For It?
I know. We got to stop. But yeah, there's your little political lesson. But I mean, it does come down to one simple fact, which is white people are allowed to do horrendous crimes in this country and pay no price. And if you don't have equal protection and equal punishment under the law, you don't have laws. And when black people say that the system is rigged, the system is unbalanced, like, I don't know a better example than January 6th. I truly don't. So, this is not burning down a fucking Wendy's, my nigga. Like, this is attacking
the Capitol.
Like, this is attacking the core of our democracy. And they're just like, I don't know, maybe 3 months in jail. Like, okay, cool.
Yo, I cannot also overemphasize this. Like, they typically do not fuck around at the Capitol. I mean, like, if you look at them funny, you just like, they looking at you like, what you doing? What you trying to do? And the fact that you had dozens of people and they were unprepared for this, even though they were warned that something like this could happen, and they just got overrun by a bunch of racist white people, and now it's just like, here's a technical charge. I mean, you can spend 90 days in jail, you'll be fine. It's just like, really?
The next time, look, unless they're like, it's not a big deal, and the next time we'll just shoot these people, then okay. But I don't think that's gonna happen. So how about we just not?
I don't have any expectations going forward. I mean, I assume if something monumental happens, I'll see it because it'll be all over Twitter. But otherwise, I don't know. I can't spend my days like I did last year, just looking to see who's going to get punished for it, because it drove me crazy. Like, after a while, I had to be like, whatever happens is going to happen. And if history taught us anything, not much is going to happen to these people. Yep,
absolutely. All right, that is it for us. We will see you guys next week for episode 214 on Juice. Later.
Peace.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.